Sheepskins are great, they soak up moisture and keep you ventilated. A couple of pockets inside the cockpit, and all your handy get out stuff so it's not floating around, it's there when you need it, it hasn't like fallen in the footwell and gone between the rudder pedals.
Down beside the wheel brake.
Yeah, unfortunately one of my pockets worked great for 10 years, then we came here and we did a winch launch, and the first thing that happened was my muesli bar fell out the side pocket under acceleration. I went down in the air brake slot. Yeah.
Or your pen.
Hence
Pens are the worst.
why
Yeah, pens I've got a reasonable system for, but the muesli bars escaping their special pocket was a new one because I'd never done a winch launch before.
hence why you should always do full air brake check, not just crack them open and close them on pre-landing checks. So
All that to slice slip.
pull them fully open and close, and you might know if you've got wheel brake or not at the end.
Fortunately, muesli bars are fungible. Yeah. Another trick is a bag on a string. I don't know if anybody follows this one. Like somebody showed me in LS4 because they're pretty tight. So I've got pencil cases work quite well, but if you've got a like small stowage bag or something like that, tie a bit of string to it, tie the bit of string somewhere behind you. So it's going nowhere. It's not going forward, backwards. It's always on the end of the bit of string. Yeah. I put all the stuff. I think Tony, you have a bag system as well. Don't you? A bag with everything in it. I keep all the stuff I don't always need a flight, but might need a flight, and they're like a hat, gloves, some documentation that I might occasionally refer to. That kind of stuff usually goes in there because you don't want that cluttering out the cockpit normally, but you do need to get it on the flight. You need a pen, an iPad usually. Some notepad's probably optional these days. And you'll be given your notes for your task, so you're going to need somewhere to put those. They'll just be
Maybe given information while you're flying that you might want to write down.
Yeah, I quite often just use the back of my DI book these days. So if you're given a radio frequency or something, or you've got a message somebody wants you to relay that's a complicated one, then yeah, pen and paper handy. Food and drink, somewhere to put it. Yeah. Watching Stefan Langer, he's put quite a few videos up there. He's always eating a massive sandwich from a brown paper bag that he's bought at the local shop. Where does he put it? Where does he put it?
He's a skinny guy.
Yeah. I usually jam things in a Ziploc bag because it's a mush by the time I come to eat it, it's just a complete mess.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of squeezing it out of the bag. Yeah, food and drink, needs to put it. If you're flying a Mariner, I find a woolly hat saves an awful lot of surplus clothing. So the hat keeps you quite warm, and I've usually got, I've usually got a puffer jacket that scrunches up to a tiny little thing. And I can keep that behind my head.
There should be a coloured one too.
Yeah, I know Tony likes red. I
I
prefer
do,
blue.
because you can be seen across the paddock, walking.
Yeah, if you see a little red gnome walking across the central Otago, it's Tony's landed there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you saying that you're usually inconspicuous?
And you're going to have a track system, beacons, spots. Where do you keep your spot?
On the glider, actually.
Where do you keep the locator beacon?
On the parachute.
I keep my spot in my pocket in my locator beacon on my parachute strap.
Yeah. Where does the club keep its locator beacons?
In the pocket.
In the cupboard.
Not judge.
So yeah, I find in the pocket or attached to you is probably better than in a bag somewhere in the back of the glider. But stowed, easy to reach.
About the beacons.
Yep.
There was a report of a guy jumping out of his glider and had this pure BMS on the side and it almost knocked him out because it gave him a knock in the chin. So it was not tight there, so he's flying over with a bag where he tied it in here.
Don't be that guy.
No.
You could be there for an hour. It's a
That's
K6.
right.
got a committee going.
Yeah.
Where's the wing stand? If you ask me to rig a glider, you say, where's your stand? And you go, oh, I haven't got one. I'm probably going to wander off aimlessly. Oh, just a minute, I've got a phone call. So be set up, make it easy for people helping you. Yeah, and avoid rigging by committee. Club gliders are great, rigged by committee. Holes are taken.
2 to 3, no more.
Right. Now on to the interesting bit, which is how you get glider performance best. Step 1. Clean it again, wax it, then clean it again. Oil gliders are designed with laminar flow. Have you ever seen a glider in the evening when it's get condensation on the wing? And you start to see little V's forming. So where the bugs are, there's you get a little V form behind the bug. That's turbulent airflow. That bug is all it takes to ruin the performance of your glider and convert it to a K13. And I think, is it 0.1% for every bug or something like that? So every little speck of dirt on the leading edge of your wing is turning that bit of wing into a K13. And nobody flies competitions with K13s. And if you turn up and your glider is like immaculate, and the other guy is like all dinged and horrible, he's like, oh, that guy's got an advantage over me. So a bit psychological as well. And I find that whole ritual polishing the glider every morning gets your head in the right space. It's a good distraction.
And also clean the bottom of it.
Well, there's a bottom.
You know, the underside.
Yeah, when do you polish your glider for a competition?
The day before.
No.
Joking.
Well, Paul's just gave you a big hint. How do you polish the underside of your wings? I'll let you think about that one.
Too rude. On the back end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the winter, that's in the workshop. Yeah, so
Not out
seals, turbulators. So the reason you seal a glider is if there's any airflow coming out of a gap, a crack, it will blow that boundary layer off. It will turbulate it, might even trigger a separation bubble. It can be quite devastating performance to the glider. So sealing it is critical. I find that often around the back of the cockpit, that leakage out the back of the canopy is one of the worst offenders, and it's also the hardest to seal. I put a lot of effort into getting that right in mine, because it does. If I haven't got that well sealed, I'll notice it in the thermals. If I'm put down about 45 knots or so, I start to get buffet behind my shoulders. I've seen on the DG1000s, I've been flying with passengers, I've seen ladies' hair go up to the gap, come up over the top of the canopy. Having hair on the outside of your glider does not improve performance.
Hair.
Hair. So seal it up. I won't go too much into sealing, because every glider is different. There's different ways of doing it. Balance it. So getting your centre of gravity in the right place is critical. Learned this every few years. It's a balance. A forward centre of gravity is actually quite good in the high speed cruise. Whereas you want it reasonably aft for climbing. I've got a bit more on this, so I won't go into it. If you get it wrong, if you're too aft, you're going to kill yourself. So it's not just a matter of putting more and more lead in the glider until it either goes up or you die. You need to do it properly. It needs to be properly weight and balanced for your weight.